We created all that destruction, hooray! I want to point out that that guy was sleeping in the middle of a public park that was not damaging
they
anything.
could have actually
and the
waited
entire
for those
city was unharmed around him.
Yeah, they could have actually waited for the laser people to show up first.
Or ignored it for all we know. He wasn't damaging the city.
Yeah, it could have just like asked him to leave after he took his nap. I don't know.
We just had a happy, sleepy Godzilla, and then we just ruined him, but mostly ruined ourselves, because he's fine, but our city's flattened now, and that wasn't the case before we started fighting him.
Just go pump it full of so much horse tranquilizers that just doesn't feel like getting back up again.
Like that episode didn't even do a good job at confirming that that dinosaur thing was even like dangerous or even like hostile. It's like we just attacked it until it fought us.
It just likes to prance.
I'm going into the hole now. Shit.
There was a game people played in my elementary school where they would watch cars driving by and try to identify the make and model of the car. And I always thought that was really impressive. And now I wonder as an adult, were they just bullshitting?
Yeah.
And the answer was,
yeah, that's a 1975 Bugatti.
Yeah, of course they were just making shit up the entire time.
Pinto,
was anybody gonna call them out on it? Yeah. I don't understand why you think that people are driving by 1970s cars.
That's a Pinto, and that's a Mustang, and that's a Colt.
Why are these all like classic muscle cars that we're identifying? I'm not like 900 years old.
Is Colt
I was in
also
middle
a
school
car?
being like, oh, there's the Edison mobile.
Is Colt also a car?
No.
Okay.
So I knew guys in middle school and high school that would do that specifically with like celebrity women and stuff like that. I'm like, why do you care so much? I don't get it.
I mean, you did that with Pokemon, so they'll pretend you're better than they
like
are.
trying to name them or something?
Nah,
I mean, earlier
Pokemon was dead to me by the
in
time
our Dark
I hit
Souls
middle
3
school.
playthrough, we tried to name porn stars for a bit. That was a thing that happened.
How many did we come up with again? It was like 2.
I don't know, but we insisted on talking about famous porn stars for a bit there, and then talked about the IMDb of porn, which apparently is just IMDb.
Oh yeah.
I edited that not too long ago.
I was wondering why that was on your mind.
I'm about done with editing the main playthrough, but then DLC has to start.
Good thing the DLC isn't really super long or anything.
Yeah, but we took a long time.
I know. Because it was 3 of us.
And then after that's done...
For Dark Eater, I'll just have to look at specific attempts that I choose and be like, those are the ones I'll edit, and then the rest of it I'll just be like, here's a giant mega video from one of our perspectives that's the unabridged version of this nightmare day we had.
That day sucked.
Because I don't want to lose all that footage.
I hated that.
And it's
Wasn't
really
that
funny.
like 2 days, actually?
Yes.
It took like 3 days or 2 days.
Our 2 days of struggle is really funny. But I can't edit. I can't edit like a 15-part thing about one boss fight in multiple perspectives.
But nobody would watch it.
I bet people would watch it. People love to watch us suffer.
I could totally do this shit all day, every day, if it was like my job. But it's
Sadly,
like
it doesn't pay the bills.
It's
fully.
like no, it's more like a hobby I do that's related to my job, the multiple perspective stuff. I'm not like an achievement hunter editor that's just hired to do that all the time.
No, I see what you're saying.
I gotta go make things. I'm hoping that now that 999 is airing that I'll have enough time to finish editing Dark Souls 3 finally, because I essentially have a whole slot that's accounted for now. We've like pre-recorded it.
That series.
That feeling is so good when you've got like a full series more or less recorded. Ow.
Like when you did Prey in 1 week or something.
I mean, I do that with like most games. Like I streamed like 2 nights of Yonder, and then that's been it.
I'm
got
jealous
to actually
a little bit.
more of it.
I can't marathon like that.
I did that with Sundered. I've got 9 hours of footage, so that's like, you know, what, 15 to 20 episodes somewhere in there. That game gets hard as shit though.
It's also very green.
Yes, I got to the. I think I'm at the very end of the game, like the last zone. There's only 3. And, like, one of the bosses is just, like, his level is those thorn bushes. Good luck.
Huh.
Yeah. The boss isn't hard, but hitting the boss is incredibly difficult.
I have a bad tendency to just have, like, a slow start in the morning, and then once I finally start recording, it's practically time for us to start doing multiplayer things. And then like
I
my
have a bad
whole
tendency to have a
schedule's
life
weird.
outside of video games, which makes recording video games a real fucking hassle.
Yeah, the bad tendency of this not being your job.
The bad tendency of, like, I woke up this morning, logged in remotely into work, and then, like, babysat things because I'm on call.
Oh.
Which literally just consisted of me logging onto some dashboards and then, like,
This
making
rocket
sure that
launcher
everything
is
was
so
green,
satisfying.
and then going away.
So I've got a machine gun rocket launcher, and it is the best thing ever.
Yeah? I mean, I've seen you, like, just pumping rockets into shit and having a good time, so...
It is great. Its accuracy is garbage, but I'm like, ooh, until death.
I'm just happy with my shoulder cannons because they're just consistent and usable, and things are working out now.
Are they still, like, level 0? Oh, no, they're level 10. I misread. I was worried about that.
But I mean, the very first thing I do every single day is feed the bunnies, which is, like, that's a great way to wake up. It's like you wake up and you're like, I'm tired, but in like 2 minutes, I'm gonna be petting soft furry animals, and it's gonna be the greatest experience. Like, that is the best way to get out of bed every day.
Hug the comfort rabbits and hope they don't have a panic attack that kills them.
Deploying.
Oh man, they sure as hell did when I first got them. If I looked at them like for too long, they'd be like, "You're gonna kill me," and then they ran away.
I think we mentioned this before, but can't you like, isn't it possible to like put rabbits in a small amount of water and then they die of shock?
Yes.
That's terrifying.
Do not give your rabbits baths. They don't need it. They clean themselves like crazy. It's like their third favorite activity is to like clean schmutz off themselves.
They're like cats.
They are actually very similar pets to cats, but they're
all the way down to being terrified of anything they don't know and understand.
The only reason why they've survived this long is because they breed so freaking much. Which
I
I'm
think
okay
a
with because
female
baby bunnies are
rabbit-
adorable.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
think a
basically the
female
premise of
rabbit
being a rodent.
They're not a rodent
Oh,
though.
shoot,
They're
you're
mammals. Yep. They
they're
have a distant
close.
relation to rodents. They
They're close
split
in
off.
that they make up for life by quantity.
Well, I think that rabbits share like a really long ago, like evolutionary ancestor with rodents. But that thing was also not a rodent. It became the rodents.
Yeah.
So they were an animal. They were like, just a regular old mammal, and then they became like a rodent.
They just split off at different points, like the chicken and the
Wait,
T-Rex.
what is going on? Oh no!
Yes.
Oh,
no!
those are like bees or
What
something.
the fuck are those?
Oh no, are they
Bees.
mosquitoes?
Oh man.
Oh, thank
I
God
brought
the bees.
the wrong gun for this. I brought my grenade launcher.
I'm just happy
I have
I'm
homing
just-
weapons and sniper rifles. I brought exactly the right gun for
I'm
this.
just happy they're not giant mosquitoes.
Yeah,
don't like
no, I'm okay
bees
with
all
that.
that much.
Giant mosquitoes
I
are
don't
really
like-
creepy, though. Bees
Yeah.
just want to hurt you. Mosquitoes want to drink your insides.
They
Okay,
want to keep you
actually,
alive.
They
and harvest
shoot
you.
needles.
Holy
They don't even-
shit, they do.
They don't
Good
even attack
God.
you directly. They shoot a giant needle at you. It's like bee drill.
Oh, they make weird noises when you hit them.
Yeah,
too.
they make
At least they don't have
horrifying
that
noises.
much HP, which is good.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
super
I-
easy to kill. And they actually do very little damage, I've noticed.
I guess I should bring my nagling self-propelled rocket launcher for the next couple missions.
You should bring your nagging gun.
Hail team to command headquarters.
Ow. Call your mother.
It's just a gun that just says stuff like that.
Why
Call your mother.
me anymore?
Your grandparents
Don't
will be
you
around
love your
forever.
mother?
You should get a real job. Why did you go to school for art? You should go back to school for nursing.
You know, you can pay your taxes early.
Have you talked to your cousin lately? He's become a doctor now. You should talk to him and see if you can become one.
If you don't
No,
change your
no,
address,
actually,
they
it's
won't
more-
be able to call you for jury duty.
It's actually more like, have you talked to your cousin lately? She's dating a guy that's going to be probably working at Google, so you should go date somebody that's going to work at Google.
Are you gonna do that, Wander?
I mean, that's for Shell, not me.
Oh.
Or do you mean work at Google? Because also no.
Oh, like when Shell gets calls about how she should date somebody else because they're gonna be successful?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh my god.
Lady Bird's mom is convinced that I'm gonna cheat on Lady Bird. And
Jesus,
has
that's
been
not
for
a-
years.
That is not a good...
It just reminds me of how, like,
I mean, she's right. Never mind.
So I used to carpool with a Chinese girl that was raised to go to college to meet a man. Like, she was just supposed to go to college because it'd make her a better candidate for a man.
A lot of people get their degree in...
it's called an MRS.
MRS degree, that's what the slang was. I couldn't remember it, but yeah.
It's legitimately a thing, yeah. No, I've met people that, like, got MRSs.
Yeah.
Really?
I know somebody who...
MRS.
She said that she was going to school to become a mom. It was like, oh...
No, they weren't, like, schooling to be a mom. They were literally, like...
No.
The point was to go to school to be a good candidate for a wife.
No, that's what I'm saying. She said she was studying music, but she said she was really going to school to become a mom.
She was going to school so that she could... her schooling would basically go on her, like... I can't think of the right word.
Dating profile.
No, what do you call it when you the job application thing? Her resume. She's like, it's like going and getting a degree was going to be along her like wife resume to make her a good wife.
I know
really
at least
gross.
3 or 4 people that did that.
Yeah. No, I was the art student on the computer science frat, and so one day it was kind of a party. It was a party my freshman year, and being the art student. I wasn't just dating material for the people that were like looking to score like a high-paid programmer. So at one point I ended up talking to a bunch of, kind of women that were a satellite group to this, and one of them straight up said like, "Yeah, I'm here to, find a guy that's going to make like a lot of money." And I was just like, "That's kind of a really bad thing to do. Don't you have like goals in life?" And she's like, "Kids," and I was like, "Ah, okay, have fun with that, I guess."
This was rough because it wasn't her self-determined goal. It was literally like her parents treating her like she had no intrinsic value aside from her ability to get a husband.
I do know people that is the case too. Yeah, where it was like you're a woman, your goal is to be a mother.
It's sad.
Yeah.
Society.
Boy, your goal is to be successful.
Like,
Oh.
Yeah, I knew a guy
men get to be
from
successful and women get to marry successful people, maybe.
Oh, it's sad because it's true. No. Let me rephrase that. It's sad
that it's true that people really do that.
Yeah, it's sad that it's true that people are raised to be that way.
So
it's sad that it's true that only men can be successful. No. That is not what I meant to imply.
I don't want to let that one slip, huh, Mr. Amazon?
I was in a cultural anthropology class, and we had to talk to our classmates because they would have, kind of a different culture in and of themselves and stuff like that, which is neat. And the guy's goal in life was to more or less work himself to death. He's like, "Yep, I'm gonna work 80 hours, make a ton of money, get married, have her work at home, and more or less just be working the rest of my life." And I'm like, you realize, like, you're going to die doing that. Like, that there is...
Yeah.
Like...
I know one of the smartest people I know. She said that her goal in life was to be an office drone. She literally said that. She was like, "I want somebody to just, like, tell me what to do and, like, leave me alone all day, and I just, like, do tasks for that person." It's like, what the hell is wrong with you?
So while I was working my office job, I was looking up. I was like, instead of working at sometimes, I was looking up information about like depression and
I picked the wrong one to go after.
Cubicles and stuff like that, and found articles about how like office cubicles are tied directly to depression, and literally the guy who invented cubicles, who originally thought he was inventing something really clever and interesting, like thinks he made a mistake by making them.
Yeah,
he thinks he's single-handedly ruining people's lives.
Other people would have made it.
Jesus Christ, this red ant will not let me go.
That sucks.
Hey, but I killed the hole.
Because for him, it was like a cubicle was like the Swiss Army knife of the office. Like it was like a crazy useful tool for organizing stuff. But instead, they're used as like a giant farm that takes up the entire area, which is where I work too. Was just everyone was in their own little cubicle in this giant room, and there was hallways of cubicles inside of the cubicles.
Yeah.
My dad worked at a drug research company for a while, and he had his own office, and it was great. He had his own like employees, and they were doing like a bunch of restructuring, including like switching everybody over to like a cubicle, like a mainly cubicle system. And my dad, being a senior employee, kind of got not a choice, but he had a voice in this. He was like, you know, no, don't do this. Like, this is going to be terrible. And they're like, well, your two options are deal with it or leave. And he's like, all right, I'll take my severance package. And then he left. That was it.
I don't work in cubicles. I work in... I literally have a desk.
Yeah.
And that actually works really well because I have to talk to my coworkers all the fucking time. So,
well, I think it also
like,
depends on what you're doing. He was doing like a lot of like quiet programming by himself and stuff like that.
True.
Yeah, because
yeah,
it wasn't like a large team.
I'm on a pretty small team, but like it's super duper tight knit, like all the work that we do. So having walls and stuff would be really annoying. When what I can do instead is literally stand up and go, "Hey," and then it works fine.
Mirror. Yeah, it was weird. Like I was watching like Agent Carter, and it's like an old-timey police station, and they're just in a bunch of big wood desks in a singular room, all facing the same direction.
That's actually where I work.
Just open air.
Like, it seemed like it was going to be like a lot weirder and a lot less cool than it ended up being.
Except we were conditioned to accept that
of...
kind of setting for the first like 15 years of our lives.
Oh yeah, true.
That's what old school classes are. That's all classrooms is.
Yeah, but you don't have any collaborative work in school. Like, not in situations where you have desks like that, you know?
I think it also, like, largely depends on who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And how much you hate people.
All of the managers, they, well, not all of them, a lot of managers do get, like, their own little offices because they often have to place phone calls. And practically speaking, if you're in an open office setting and you have to make a phone call, it's probably one of the most annoying activities you can do. So, giving them their own little space that they can talk privately, especially about confidential things, totally makes sense. But that also doesn't preclude the fact that my office really fucking sucks. It's the worst building. So bad. My first office had a golf course on it. My current office has nothing.
They gave
Bullshit.
you a golf course only so they could take it away.
Bullshit, man.
So
bullshit.
My first like real job was working at a lab doing monkey brains stuff.
Data entry.
Well, I was 3D modeling the brains and animating them for international conferences. So my boss
That's kind of neat.
Was apparently like one of the world's top researchers on OCD. Like that's what she was working on. And so, being one of the world's top researchers on OCD, she was going all over the world, like, all the time. So she was around for literally 3 days of my entire, like, 4 months there.
Huh.
Which was fine.
4 months and 3 days of having a boss.
Yeah.
Wow.
Otherwise, it was just like, where's this video? And I'm like, it takes, like, a week to render because you gave me a 7-year-old Mac. I got through half of the Wheel of Time series at that job because I had nothing else I could do. Because they're like, well, can you do stuff on the computer? I'm like, no. Give me another computer and I can, like, totally do stuff for you. I'm more than willing. They're like,
guys, I can't
well,
kill the nests very well, and all we've done this entire mission is fuck around.
I've been ignoring most of the enemies and grabbing all the armor drops.
Yeah, I've been killing the nests.
I've mostly been grabbing loot because I'm behind on health.
I've got you. I've got you.
That reminds me of my last. It wasn't a job. It was volunteer work I was doing while I was trying to get a job because it was such a pain to get the shitty job I hated. Was that
Jeez.
I was. The job market's bullshit and ruins lives. Hooray!
Yes.
So my job at my volunteer work was to filter water samples. Yeah. So we were measuring the sediment content of water samples, like how much is carried by it. So they took water samples in jars. Then I would filter out all the water through this machine that would create a pressure differential on the other side of the filter to help the water filter through. Then when all the water was gone, you would cook the samples. But what you do is you'd pre-weigh the filter to find out what its original weight was. Then you'd weigh it again after it was cooked and all the water was baked out. to find out what its weight afterwards was to figure out how much sediment weight was carried by the water sample. And each water sample took like 15 minutes to just to filter. So I was literally I was just standing up in a lab listening to podcasts for like 6 hours straight each time.
So, I just want to finish my story. So we had 3 rooms in the hospital dedicated to this, like, you know, kind of sub-lab or whatever you want to call it. One was the lady that was only there for 3 days office. One was a workroom filled with computers that had, I want to say, about 1 foot of space that was not covered in desk or chair, occupied by people. And one lab that was the same way. It was torturous, and they're like, can we just, like, use your office while you're gone? And she's like, no, I need it. And it's like, okay.
She sounds like kind of a shitty boss.
No, she was a shitty boss. I was glad she was never around, because she was not a nice person. Unfortunately, the sub-boss was, like, equally mean, because she very clearly did not understand technology. So, like, she's like, well, can't you just make the computer run faster? And I'm like, lady!
So I learned something about me.
Funny as shit.
What I learned the hard way is that cubicle work makes me jumpy.
Oh,
and
because
so,
you're afraid somebody's going to come around behind you?
No, so I had super bad interactions with my boss the entire time I lived there. I worked there for lived there, which is accurate enough.
Wow.
I had super bad interactions with my boss, and it's his fault, really. It's just that it's super quiet and silent and lonely for like 8 hours a day. Then once every other day, somebody just walks around the corner abruptly and addresses you, and it's so startling because of how little it happens that it would actually be like a jump scare a little bit. And it would make the beginning of every social interaction. It would make the beginning of every social interaction so awkward because I was like,
that's kind of a weird experience.
Briefly startled. Because you're just constantly talking to people at your job. It's like, no, I had
nice,
time-consuming. I had super time-consuming data management stuff where I almost never get checked in on or anything. And I was also continually getting more and more downtime because I was getting better and better at automating my own job, which therefore nullifies the reason for it to exist. I was doing it myself. I was automating my own job.
That's how it
with
works.
Excel, and I'm like, I know how to do this. Eventually, I was just plugging in the data and getting a result. I'm like, what do I do all day now? I mean, I can't tell anyone.
Don't tell anybody that you automated it. That's for sure.
My mother did that, and she was like, well, now I've started automating my coworkers' like jobs, which they were very thankful for.
You definitely don't tell anybody that you're doing that.
Well, no, like they like originally asked her to, and I think she stopped.
Son of a crap! She was too good at it.
Well, no, because her coworkers started to get laid off.
Oh, that's some dark shit.
That is rough.
Yeah, so she's like, okay,
that's
never
what
mind.
I do. I'm paid to put people out of work. It sucks.
So our job market was so fucked that the job itself that I was doing was so like low effort that it could be automated relatively easily. Even though I don't like when I started that job, I knew almost nothing about how to do tricky things in Excel at all, and I was just self-teaching while I went and easily automating my own job from scratch.
Excel is pretty.
The job itself,
it's a great program.
The job itself that was so menial was originally supposed to be an internship for like people that are in the middle of starting college and stuff like that. But they were only hiring college graduates because the job market's so dense with people that's what they hire now. Like that's how fucked the entire everything is. I have to go to college to get a job that used to be meant for people that weren't even done with college yet. And it took me a year to get that job.
Ouch.
Everything's bullshit. I hate it.